And this is where we come to the signature fuck up of my career, the South Korea story. Now, by this time, I'd been sailing all 5 years or so. Been around the block a couple times with a couple new scars to prove it. And I'm sailing out of the Portland Union Hall now. The little town where I lived and where Dad's bar was just down I-5 about 30 miles near Wilsonville, which made it real convenient just to run up to the Union Hall and check the board for any calls coming up. Now, a call is when on a certain day, certain time, a job is formally opened for whoever wants it. That's the moment everyone's card hits the counter and the agent sorts them out to see who's got the senior card. And that would be at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on call days. Now in Seattle, there would be multiple open slots just about every day. So they held calls Monday through Friday, 10 and 2. But there's also 100 guys hanging out in the hall every day. And they've usually got A and B cards, which puts them a little farther up the food chain than I was. So they could all have that shit. Now, we didn't have near the traffic in Portland. So our calls were on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 and 2. But this now creates the opportunity to pick up some scraps or jobs that don't make it to the call board. Let's say, oh, on a Tuesday morning, 10:30, phone rings, agent answers. This is Captain Butters on the Union Oil chemical tanker Cornucopia. I had a seaman slip on deck and broke his wrist, and I got to put him off here in Portland. I'm sailing again in 12 hours, and I need an AB replacement as quick as you can. Send him down to the Union Oil Terminal, Pier 3. Thanks a lot. Click. If I'm the only swinging dick hanging out in the hall that morning, it's mine. Period. And that, how I took that man's job and stayed there for the rest of my sailing career, about another 5 years. The Union Oil Chemicals Division was a different animal. They ran, at the time, one ship, the Cornucopia, and the primary cargo was liquid anhydrous ammonia. Seriously nasty shit. Now, they refrigerate the gas down until it condenses into a liquid, and that's how it's transported. But the party trick for liquid anhydrous is that it boils at minus 70 degrees below zero. So if you get the slightest glitch in the Coliseum-sized reefer unit, which has the potential to become a runaway reaction and turn your ship into a mushroom cloud of lethal flesh-eating fog. And our two secondary cargoes were caustic soda and sulfuric acid. Man, we were the floating trifecta of death. And these were in two huge side-by-side tanks right up in the bow. The first place to take any damage in a collision. Man, I never understood that design choice. Union All Chemical is based in Kenai, which is on the Cook Inlet, about 60 miles south of Anchorage, between Homer and Alaska. I mean, Homer and Anchorage. Now, part of the oil refining process is the extraction of contaminants from the crude, like anhydrous ammonia, which turns out to be an extremely rich, efficient, and profitable fertilizer, which is shipped all over the world. So when you're going down the road, those long white tanks out in the farm field that look like a propane tank, that's anhydrous ammonia that gets injected into the soil during the planting phase. Now, the cornucopia is basically on a dedicated run between Kenai, Alaska, and Incheon, South Korea, which is on the west side of Seoul, about 20 miles from the DMZ in North Korea. You'll usually go back and forth, oh, 3 times on a cruise, and then rotate. So we're there about we're there for 3 days, about every 3 weeks. The same group of guys like clockwork. And all the locals know us. They know who we are. There was a place about, a 30-minute cab ride from the port. It was just called Sailor Bar. The place was clean. Mama-san, or the boss lady, spoke good English, went out of her way to get nice food for us, good drinks that weren't intentionally overstrong or spiked. Hell, you could even get mail forwarded here. And this had been the home away from home for the cornucopia cruise for years. I mean, we were like her little ducks. She took care of us. And this meant that the young women who frequented our bar weren't bar girls or pole dancers. They were young, educated professionals, most with degrees, who might work in a pharmacy, manage an insurance office, be a nurse, and probably spoke pretty decent English. And around the world, then and now, Americans are known to be generous and a lot more respectful to women than men from any other planet. So these ladies were there with the purpose to find that knight in shining armor who they'll marry and go live in America. Go live the dream with, Ken, Ken and Barbie, or Bonnie and Clyde. And for them, this was a valid way out that worked once in a while. So you can't blame them for trying. And they paid Mama-san a monthly fee for the privilege to hunt there, and another lump sum if she lands you. So if you meet a nice young lady that you get along with, Mama-san sees this, and the word goes out that you have just become that girl's property. So even if you come in and your girl isn't there yet, none of the other girls will have anything to do with you beyond a hello and a smile, giving your girl time and space to close the deal. Now, the Mama-san is going to know your name, what you do on the ship, where you live, how much you make. Hell, she probably knows your social and your mother's maiden name. And she also knows our shipping schedule to the hour on both ends. So when the ship approaches the dock in Incheon, so there's usually a half a dozen taxis with a half a dozen Barbies parked on the dock, patiently waiting for their cans, thereby ensuring that you don't even have the chance to think about going to another bar or looking at another girl. I mean, she has an investment in you now, and it's business. It's serious business. Now, at this stage, you're probably going to her apartment now, where she cooks fabulous meals, does your laundry, does your shopping for the shampoo and the socks, or whatever little shit that you need. And then a romantic evening of rubbing lotion on the chemical burns all over your face and arms. Yeah, I still have little scars on my arms from getting repeatedly splashed with that shit. But this particular run was just a short stop, about 12 hours or so. Then the rest of the cargo was going to Japan somewhere. Now, Brian, my buddy down in the engineering department, he was also from the Oregon coast up in Astoria. And we were about the same age, rotated together, and had been on the ship for about a year or so at this point. And we weren't at the go to the apartment phase quite yet, but my little bank teller and Brian's Toyota dealership assistant manager were usually there to pick us up, and we went back to Mama San's. I mean, it was nice, it was comfortable, good food, good drinks, a dozen nice rooms upstairs, and the little DJ in the corner spinning some mad vinyl. Maybe it was the short stay, I don't know, but this time there weren't any taxis on the dock. Hell, I'd already paid for a watch, so Brian and I look at each other. Yeah, we're only here for a few hours. Fuck, Mama San. Let's go to a different bar for a change. And that, dear listener, was strike number one. A swing and a miss. Now, they've got us way out on our own pier for hazardous and dangerous cargoes with our own higher level security entrance. Now, we're just 20 miles from the demilitarized zone with North Korea, and 500,000 missiles and artillery pieces that are aimed straight at Seoul and Incheon. Now, North and South have been at a perpetual state of war with each other since about 1949. And today they're still at war. There's never been a peace. It's only a ceasefire enforced and maintained by us. So security along the DMZ is taken real serious. And there were particularly high tensions at the time. So anything within about 20 miles of the port was under a strict military curfew after 11 p.m. Anything on the road after 11 would be stopped and checked at gunpoint and may or may not be allowed to continue from there. But Brian and I walk up to the shack, security all over the port is armed military. I mean, they're not just rent-a-cops. So even though the MPs all know us, super friendly guys, I mean, always wanting to talk about America, you're still going to show ID and get logged in and out every time. I mean, of course, right? Gee, I wonder where Mama San gets her info. Hell, Mama San is like a little John Gotti. She's the boss of a family and is a straight up gangster. And not immediately grasping this obvious fact of life was Steve, right? Number two. Hell, the MPs are probably making 50 cents a week. So when we're in port, they'll make another 50 cents reporting to Mama San when anybody heads to town. Then she'll call your girl at home or work, and she'll be there when you get there or very shortly after. So the MP calls us a cab. It takes about 30 minutes to get out here. And, Mama San no taxi? You bad boys? Mama San mad. What you do? What you do? He'll laugh, laugh, laugh. Just typical Teamster banner that takes place on any pier in any seaport anywhere in the world. Nah, nah, we're just here for a short time, then go Japan. We just want to go to town, drink beer, see something different. Which actually was the plan. The ship was set to sail on the tide at 12:30 a.m. 003 or 0030 in about 14 hours as the cab was pulling up. I know good area for you. Many nice bar. You walk. Maybe see pretty girl. I know. I know. I tell taxi. He take you. Nice area. You like. Yeah, great. That's a good idea. Thanks. Shit. That cab was barely in gear before Mama San was getting a full military report. Name, rank, and serial number of who was on the loose and what area they had been sent to. Man, what could possibly go wrong? So, cab drops us off, and we're not in one of the regular touristy areas. It's a little more residential-ish, not real crowded. And it's a strip about 4 blocks long with the traditional narrow 3-story buildings on both sides, bars and restaurants on the street level with little various businesses on the second. Then the girls' rooms from the bar are always on the top floor, the third floor. So yeah, hell, this was just what the doctor ordered. And now you've got to work through the normal routine where you don't even make it to the door and a pretty young girl who's got a hold of each arm dragging you into their bar. Oh, welcome, welcome. Come sit with me. Where you from? You're very handsome. Buy me drink. Buy me drink. At the same time, one hand is rubbing your back and the other is rubbing your thigh, which is all great fun on your first couple trips to the rodeo. But after that, to be honest, it just gets fucking annoying when all you want is just a beer. So Brian and I just turn around and walk out of about 5 of these, which is what you do. You just smile and keep moving. Then we find one that kind of clicks. At least they give a guy a chance to sit somewhere before two buy me drink girls make themselves very much at home at your table. And buy me drink is usually a $5 shot of pineapple juice, which the girl then splits with the bar, while at the same time the bartender is pouring your drink way too strong and or adding just a little something that won't flat knock you out, but will loosen your wallet. You'll lose all track of time, and then you'll wake up 3 hours later upstairs with your pants off, so you'll think you actually accomplished something, dead stone broke with a splitting headache. Shit. They'll even find that $100 bill you keep stashed in your sock for emergencies just like this. Now, of course, nothing like that ever happened to me. Hell, I'm Spider-Man, remember? I'm way too savvy a pirate for that shit to work on me. I just heard about it from some of the guys. Uh, but this time, buy me drink was a couple beers for the girls too. Hell, if it's a slow evening, the girls get bored like anybody else. I mean, they're all in their late teens, early 20s in a dangerous, high stress job. I mean, Come on, let's be honest here. They're not at Hooters. This is the port area in South Korea. Now they'll make about triple what the average South Korean makes, but damn. So if they get a couple nice younger guys with a little personality, hell, they'll take the opportunity to shift gears and just blow off some steam themselves and turn it into their own party night. And if the stars are aligned just right, they'll take you along for the ride. And that's the vibe we had going tonight. Let me tell you, you get a half a dozen little bar girls letting off steam on a party night and not constantly just trying to put the squeeze on you, pun intended. Man, that can be one of those legendary evenings. Excuse me. Now, we've been at this for a little while now. Brian says, "Man, this is too good. We need a shot of tequila." And that was right number three. We were out at the plate. We just didn't know it quite yet. Now, I always drink beer off the ship because it's pretty hard to tamper with your bottle of beer. And as long as you get a new bar, or as long as you get a new beer every time you go piss and don't touch the one you turned your back on for 2 minutes, you'll be fine. And this was different. These girls really liked us. They were our friends, right? Yeah, of course they were. And I remember checking my watch, and it's about 9 o'clock. Let's see, curfew's at 11. Ship sails 12:30. Yeah, we got time for a shot and one more beer, and then we got to beat feet and call a cab. Bartender carries over a tray of shots. The girls all snatch theirs, leaving two out on the edge of the tray just for us. So we have a shot, order one more beer. At this point, we've had maybe 4 San Miguels and a shot, which for two big Westerners isn't a lot. But now the lights seem to be just a little more colorful. And now those scratchy old records are sounding pretty damn good. You know, Brian, this place is all right. This is a lot of fun. These are nice girls. They just like to party a little. We need to start coming back here sometimes. Next thing I remember is walking into the can and then some stairs. And wait a second, there's no steps in the bathroom. And this little girl is really cute on my arm. Boy, she sure is a cute little thing. She's just as cute as a but. What was her name? Then I'm lying on a bed, and through the fog, I kind of wake up to this yelling going on downstairs. That's just echoing up the stairwell. More yelling, chairs sliding, glass breaks. What the hell's going on down there? Then Brian's in the doorway pulling his pants on. I notice mine are unbuckled, but I'm still wearing them. The girls, they're downstairs. Well, yeah, we're in the bar. I think, wake up, you stupid fuck. Our girls, Mama San, they're downstairs right now. Oh, my sweet Jesus, what time is it? It's 10:30. Oh, fuck. If we had a cab waiting for us right now, it's a 30-minute ride to the port. We have to get out of here. And right now, there's an Asian turf war going on downstairs between bar girls from 2 different bars fighting over who gets to cut our nuts off. I'm not going down there for nothing. Well, there's a window in my room. Now, all of these buildings have a little fenced yard area in the back that faces onto a little dirt alley. And there'll be a little tin roofed lean to covering a pile of month-old garbage bags and usually a dog. So I crawl out hanging on the windowsill and drop 10 feet onto that tin shed. Then bang, rattle, rattle, roll down the roof, crash, rattle into the garbage bags. Then the dog's on me. Bark, bark, intruder alert, bark, bark. Then bang, rattle, rattle, here comes Brian. Crash, garbage bags, dog, bark, bark, Brian's getting bit. Now the dogs on each side of us and across the alley have joined in. Bark, bark, intruder alert, bark, bark. I have woken into a bloody fucking nightmare. I still have some kind of drug in my system, alcohol, now a massive adrenaline dump. I gotta get away from these dogs, these goddamn dogs. So I'm over the fence into the alley and I just sprint in what I hope is the right direction. If I knew the direction, what direction the port was, I'd at least run that way. And this is where Brian and I get crossed up. I go in one direction, he went the other. So now we're separated. We're both on our own now. With, for all I know, two packs of knife wielding hookers hunting us down. And you know what? Right about now, a little woke safe space might actually make some sense. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. I got no sympathy for you. I'm sorry. But now I'm just looking for a road. I mean, there's no cabs in the alley. A few seconds and I find pavement. I have to stop for a few seconds just to try to catch my breath. God damn. There's a little light out here under the lamp post where I can get a look at myself, and I'm just covered in filth, bleeding, scrapes and cuts, sliding down a rusty tin roof, rolling through the garbage bags, and my leg is killing me where that fucking dog bit my calf and it's bleeding. Oh shit. I checked my pockets. Hell, I've still got my wallet. How do I still have my wallet? Our girls must have stormed in right as they dropped us on the bed. It's the only answer. But I gotta keep moving. I mean, hell, what time is it? Damn, it's not quite 20 till 11. So everything from Brian pulling his pants up to me gasping under the lamppost has been less than 5 minutes. How time flies when your heart rate's at 180 a minute. So I pick a direction and just take off jogging. I'm praying for a cab, watching for a bicycle I can snatch. If I can just figure out what direction the damn port is. All right, there's an intersection with a cab at the curb. It's quarter till now. This cabbie's probably just tallying up his receipts, thinking he's thinking he's done for the night. Well, tag, you're it, brother. And I take this poor guy by surprise as I yank the door open and dive in the back. He freaks out, leaning way over, looking back at this giant bloody foreigner screaming at him. No, 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 no cab, curfew, me time, no cab, you go. At the same time, I'm yelling at him, peeling money off into his lap. Please, must go port, ship sails soon, please, curfew. Samil Boudou, ne, must go, Samil Boudou. And Beady Mao, motherfucker, which is Vietnamese for move your ass. And, well, motherfucker is pretty universal. So now he's got a week's wages in his lap with the promise of a lot more if he'd just fucking deed him out, god damn it. Okay, okay. We start flying through the town. Now, he's genuinely trying to get me to the checkpoint in time, but not gonna make it. So now, excuse me, we're on the port road that winds its way out to the entrance, and about 3 miles out is a permanent checkpoint guard station, and everything on our side of the port checks in through there. Now I know we're getting closer. Cabby starts to slow down, and I'm not thinking straight. I'm going, no, the ship's so soon, must go. What you do? He's yelling back over his shoulder. Oh, roadblock, we stop. Which, which is when I should have just said, yeah, you're right. Damn nice try, but we stop. And I throw myself on the mercy of the guys who've been logging me through the guard shack for the last year. I mean, yeah, I broke curfew and I might lose my job, but I'd catch another ship. Wouldn't be the end of the world. But I've still got roofies, alcohol, and adrenaline pumping through me. Hell, I'm bleeding. I'm not thinking, but the only thing I know is that that ship is American soil, and that's all that matters. At this point, my brain is completely disengaged from reality, and I'm looming over this guy. Please, ship sail soon, must go now, go around. Slap, 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 more money. Cabbie's totally overwhelmed, screaming to himself, okay, okay, mumble, mumble. Probably something like, all right, you asked for it, motherfucker. As he pulls off to the right, a little dirt road going up into the hills. We're bouncing along, dust rolling in through the windows. After a few minutes, we got a pair of headlights coming up behind us through the dust. And we drop down towards the road. And there's two more Jeeps just sitting there patiently waiting for us. And yeah, I guess about once a year or year and a half, some dummy pulls some crap like this and they make an example out of him so that it's a couple more years before the next dummy like me comes along. So I'm military. I mean, I went through boot camp when drill instructors could and would still lay hands on you. They'd take a fuck up out behind the parade grounds, and 3 DIs would turn you black and blue from chin to ankle. So I had a rough idea of probably what was coming. I took my shot and lost. Now I had a bill to pay. So I'm cuffed, thrown face down in the back of a Jeep, some asshole sitting on my back. At the guard's office, I'm cuffed to a metal chair. 4 or 5 MPs milling around doing some paperwork, just ignoring me. And there's a big clock in the wall, on the wall facing me. And it's 11:45 now. And I'm just sitting there watching that minute hand go around and around. 10 after 12. Hell, it's the next day now. I was on one ship when a guy was left behind. His name was Jim. And he went ashore for some shampoo and a beer and never came back. When it came time to sail, the old man waited exactly 15 minutes, then cast off all lines, and I never saw him again. They called the union agent to come pick up his stuff the next time we're in Portland. But at least he was marooned in Sacramento. Not quite the same thing. So now the gas tank is empty. Roofies and adrenaline are pretty much gone. I ache from stem to stern, bleeding from 100 little cuts. My leg is throbbing from that fucking dog. I'm pretty much a broken man at this point and worried about Brian. Now, I'd ask the guards if they'd had him, but nothing. So now I'm sitting here just shaking my head. What the fuck happened? What the fuck did I do? This isn't like me. What the fuck did they put in that shot? About 12:20. This little rat-faced captain walks in with a couple of non-coms with him. At this point, everyone else files out the room and closes the door behind him. Oh, this just keeps getting better and better. Shit, I forgot about this part. I still got dinner to pay for. But I try asking the captain. See, my friend Brian was with me in town. These girls drugged us. My friend is still lost. Do you have him? Is he okay? His captain's just slowly pacing back and forth in front of me. Then, what? This heavy leather strap comes down across the top of my legs. What the fuck? God damn it! Hand shoved me back down in the chair. Captain just keeps pacing. I'm done. I shot my wad. I got nothing left. I'm just panting, sweating, in a real dark place right now. Now the captain bends down, puts his little rat face right next to mine. You disrespect me. You disrespect my men. You disrespect job we do. Who the fuck you think you are? This not America. This my world. Yes, your friend okay. I'm sure he very touched by your concern. Your friend stop at roadblock. Put hands up. Say, I'm sorry. I fuck up. We say, okay, we understand. You good guys. Your friend on ship now. Going home. Then they all walk out, leaving me there all alone. Clock on the wall shows 01:45. Now even the 15-minute grace period is gone. My only thoughts are, how the hell am I going to make that call on some scratchy overseas connection to tell my dad that his only child wouldn't be home for a while? Now it's 0200, 2 a.m., and I don't believe it. I hear the chief mate's voice out front. All right, where is he? They all come walking back in. Jesus fucking Christ on toast, Schaefer. You look like shit. What the fuck did you do? Your boy have adventure tonight. Maybe too much adventure. But we have nice talk. He understand now. I look forward to not seeing him for a while. On the ride back to the ship, chief mate's filling me in. Jesus Christ, Schaefer, what the hell am I going to do with you? You got no idea the shit show you stirred up. The old man was spitting nails when I talked to the mama son. Yeah, don't look at me like that. You don't think I go ashore once in a while, too? Yeah, she called me. Said they gave you and Brian a hot shot. We're on the run. Lucky for you, the chief engineer found a filter in one of the widget pumps that needed an emergency replacement, and that takes about 2 hours. So, no, you're not fired yet, but you are going to pay a price. The old man's going to discuss that with you tomorrow. For now, haul your ass up the gangway, get yourself a shower and some clean clothes. We're sailing in 30 minutes, and then you're on watch. Now, I was on the, excuse me, I was on the 4-day watch, and it's about 0600, clear horizon, looking for the green flash, just thankful to be alive. Captain walks out on the bridge with his big mug of coffee. I give him the steady on 107, Captain. Very well. About 10 minutes later, here, Schaefer. We go out on the wing of the bridge. Captain's just standing there looking at the horizon. You caused quite a shit show last night. You realize that? Yes, sir, I do. At least Brian had the sense not to spark an international incident with the military foreign power who's currently at war with its fucking neighbor. I had to kiss some serious ass to get you out last night. Do you realize that? You're lucky it was two of you and I couldn't afford to sail that short-handed. Look, Bill, I know you're a good man and a good man to have on my ship. God damn it, that's why I keep bringing you back. But if you were by yourself after pulling something like this, I don't care if you're Popeye the motherfucking sailor, man. I'll leave your ass and not give it a second thought. Are we clear? Yes, sir. Crystal. All right. Chief's got my instructions on you. See him after your watch. Brian was given 2 weeks salary deduction, plus restricted to the ship for the remainder of this cruise and all of the next. And since I had sparked an international incident with the military foreign power who was already at DEFCON 3, I lost 30 days' salary plus ship restriction, this cruise and the next. Turns out, Mama San and the girls were just trying to find us before we stepped into some shit. They almost made it. They did get Brian's wallet back. No money in it, but he got his ID back. The point is they weren't hunting us down after blood. They actually had our backs, and well, we're protecting their investments. Then about 6 months later, at my very first opportunity, I walked straight back into Mama San's, head bowed, hat in hand, so to speak. And before I could even say, I'm sorry and thank you, she walked up, grabbed me by the hands. Mr. Bill, welcome back. We miss you.